Ladies and gentlemen, I am in the Foreigner Press Association, and we will speak with the Secretary of the Foreigner Press Association, Mr. Nabil Yousef, about a great man that is just disappeared, that he was the founder of the Foreigner Press Association in Cairo, Mr. Windfuhr. So, of course, it's an honor for me to be here with Mr. Nabil Yousef, that now you can see him. And so the first question is, you are here from the beginning, I think, of the foundation of Foreigner Press Association.
No, I can say you will come first. Our FPA, Foreign Press Association in Cairo, was established on 1976. It was the time of Sadat, 76, and from this time it still exists with biggest number of the Foreign Press Association, Foreign Press members around the Middle East, the biggest number, and the fourth gathering of the foreign press around the world, the fourth gathering. So it's considered as the largest in the Middle East. The name of the Cairo Foreign Press Association, it was first for foreign press only, foreign media, and then became by this is changing on the timing and the changing of publication, changing of policy. We changed the rules to accept also some other category like those media which online media and publication not published in Egypt, publication registered outside of Egypt, publication were having a license from outside. So all this media became a member of the FPA, plus those diplomatic and cultural representative of diplomatic missions in Egypt. So it's a kind of variety of members which is giving make it rich for members and for opinion, for views, everything.
So, of course, this is great to open the door to also cultural institutions.
Yes, we have. We have also from cultural institute a lot of members which they are very involved and very interested in the press field. So they, by all means, they are based in Egypt and their institute located in Egypt. So they are very involved in these press activities and the press releases and all, all it's connected with each other. So it's we help each other. We help them on their press releases and their announcement, and they help us to enrich our members with the data, with the events, with cooperation, many things.
So I put more in evidence this, so to help. So the Foreigner Press Association help, cultural institution and of course journalists about information.
Sure.
And they are helped by the Foreigner Press Association in Cairo to enrich, also to correct information, etc. And of course this is an enrichment for both.
Yes, it's kind of sources. This is the sources of the data, sources of information, and if you did not receive this data from the sources, it will be a kind of mistake. So it's to communicate with those leaders and with those directors of these institutes and diplomatic missions, press and the cultural centers, and all these cultural centers in Egypt have they have their activities which we follow, and they need the press also to circulate these activities and to communicate with the people around.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, of course, the function of Foreigner Press Association in Cairo and is extremely important to coordinate to
That's
the
right.
actions.
That's right. That's right.
And so coordination is extremely important.
Yes.
Because towards the audience, a coordinated press or media give to the audience more clear information, because
right.
of course the matter is to spread clear news, not of course confused news,
That's
but
right.
the action,
Yes.
thanks to the Windfuhr and you, and all the journalists or all the member, part of the Foreign Press Association, give news very clear, because there is the action of coordination.
From the sources directly.
For
not,
the sources
not cultural
directly.
centers only. We have very coordinated with the diplomatic missions, with embassies, with ministries, with cultural centers, with NGO community, with parties, Egyptian parties, and all this movement around. We communicate with all the events or with all the events happens in Egypt to help the press to communicate with it and to start to cover, start to publish it. So it's help each other. So we are like a coordinator between the government and all these items and the press. When the foreign press or Egyptian press, they don't know the sources, they don't know how to communicate, they don't know how to get this information. So we are trying to catch this, whether press release, whether the source, whether the information to deliver to this media.
Absolutely, and give more and more information about Egypt, because, for example, some young correspondent that came in Egypt doesn't know a lot of things. So, of course, there is a press centers or the state information center that, of course, the Foreign Press Association is in close communication.
Yes, we have a close communication.
Of course, but also information about the history of Egypt, also the recent history of Egypt in different sectors, different areas.
We used to have like these activities when we organize a visit to destination in Egypt. We visit to governorates, we visit to those official in their places, so we enrich our members, our press members, and those press attaché and all those members. We enrich them with their data to discover another places, to discover another opinion, to reach the place itself, to write about it. So this is our main or our aim, to enrich our members with the data regarding Egypt, regarding the history, regarding the places, regarding the ancient Egypt, all these places. Plus, we follow also the activities and the activities around Egypt in all sectors.
Perfect. Of course, one of the most famous issue of Egypt is archaeology. So, of course, Egypt is one of the most famous countries in the world for archaeology, because it's considered, and I consider, the first civilization in the world. and of course Mesopotamia, of course other civilization, but in this part of the world, and then came Greece, that is a son of Egypt, and then came Rome, that is a son of Greece and ancient Egypt. And so Egypt always emphasize art, culture, and in the great way. Now also there is the second museum in Egypt, is not yet open, but shortly Grand Museum of Giza, that is I think the most large museum in the world.
That's right.
And so is in the area, of course, Giza, of the Sphinx and the pyramids. So the tourists can see the monuments and can have a so large view about all ancient Egypt. So this is a great idea. And so, of course, there are information about other area like transportations, like new streets, circulation, etc. So, of course, we remember a lot Mr. Windfuhr. Do you like to spend some words about his great figure?
Yeah, I know Windfuhr, or Mr. Volkhard, Robert Windfuhr. He's one of the leader of FPA, one of the best leader of FPA. He's leading the FPA association since 1993, 1994, and as a director or as a board director, and he was the correspondent of the biggest magazine in Germany,
the
Spiegel magazine, since his time, and he was living in Egypt since about not less than 60 years. He came, or he arrived to Egypt when he was 14 or something like this. He got his secondary school from here. He got his degree in Faculty of Literature in Ain Shams University, and then he worked in Egypt in press, in many things, in Deutsche Welle, in Egyptian radio, German voice, and he was, from this time he based in Egypt since this time, live in Egypt with all this generation, and with all this president, and with all this movement in community. He live with, or he attended the time of Nasser, the time of Sadat, time of Mubarak, time of Sisi even. So he was in a good relation with all these communities, with all this leadership, and very well known for them.
So he's an extremely important figure, and he last year he received an important prize. Which prize?
Yes, he received award from President Sisi himself, and his vice President Sisi, you can say he met in person with all the presidents before since a long time. But President Sisi hear about him many things, from many people, and I do believe he met him 2 times or 3 times, but not in an interview. That he used to meet those presidents in interview, but President Sisi, according to his position, Windfuhr position, and Windfuhr defending on the Egyptian country, and his love to Egypt expressed on his interviews, and expressed on his words in his written forms and written articles. So he was very, very keen to give him this kind of interest and kind of valuable as a guest of Egypt, was one of those people live in Egypt. So he gave him this award of what it's called Medal of Honor from Egypt, to the only correspondents or the only foreigner got like this Medal of Honor. This it was by end of December, about 20 December 19, 2019, 2019. It was a couple of months ago, or like 8 months ago. And from this time, President Sisi also was or would like to receive it to him in person, but for some health problem he couldn't meet him in person to give it to him, but it was delivered via Dr. Dia Rashwan, the president of, or the director of the State Information Service, from the President Sisi, to give it to him between those foreign press, media and the members, to deliver to him and send him his greeting, to President Sisi greeting. But as you know, Mr. Windfuhr was died about 25 days ago now. So he received this award about 8 months now.
And of course, is a prize for his love.
Yes.
His love to Egypt that generate peace. In fact, one of the main aim of press, information, diplomacy, culture is dialogue, is peace.
Yeah.
And so the action of Mr. Windfuhr and your action, because fortunately I know you from many, many years ago, you always help. I have to say, Mr. Nabil Yousef always help all the journalists, all the people that involved in diplomacy, always, and as Mr. Windfuhr too. So is need to give a lot of gratitude to Mr. Nabil Yousef and Mr. Windfuhr. So thank you so much for this very important interview, and that sure all of you will be happy for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, my